So, FM25, never thought I'd be making this video, but the game has been cancelled. As I'm sure you've all seen on social media from other YouTubers' reactions, yeah, it's a very, very odd time to be a Football Manager fan. A little bit unprecedented as well in the Football Manager world. Maybe years and years ago there might have been stuff like this, but the game's been pretty steady in recent times. So this really is a big change up. Today we're going to talk about not just my thoughts on it, but what this might mean for the future of Football Manager as a series, the impacts this cancellation is going to have, what we can maybe look forward to, and also what we're going to be doing here on the channel, because things might need to change. I don't know. Obviously, with this whole video, we want your guys' feedback and input. We want to hear your thoughts on the whole situation, and please do stick around with us. This won't be a super long video, but stick around until the end because there's something that we need your help with as well when it comes to the channel. More on that later though. Let's focus on the main news. As I'm sure many of you are all aware, if you haven't, just a brief summary. FM25, the sequel to FM24, was basically meant to be like Football Manager 2. It was being built on a whole new engine. The game was being built from the ground up. A big undertaking, but one that Sports Interactive, the company behind the game, started many, many years ago, or at least started planning for, and have been working on in the background now for a few years. In fact, when FM24 was announced, with pretty little changes compared to FM23. They said the big thing of, but don't worry, at FM25 we're making big changes, and that's the reason why FM24 isn't having so many. Yet FM25 doesn't exist. So we bought FM24 with some changes, yes, but on the basis that there was more to come in FM25, only to find out they couldn't hit the deadline for FM25. The November release that we normally have got pushed back till March. They said they'd give us some more info by the end of Jan, and then by the end of Jan, we heard nothing. A few days ago, we made a video on this, talking about how we don't think Sports Interactive would go radio silent on purpose, and maybe there's some legal reasons behind it. Turns out there was. We'll talk more about that in a second, but in the end, we get told the game isn't coming out, and obviously it's not a good look for Sports Interactive at all. The company that's been working on this for a while now. Do not get me wrong, I think you should only bring out a game, sell a game when you are happy with it, when you think the customer will be. Because, you know, people have got to splash £40 on this game, £30, whatever it might be, to play this game. You don't want to buy a broken mess. So if it is broken, I'd rather they wouldn't release it, to be perfectly honest with you. I'd be happy to wait until FM26. It's just the whole way that it's kind of gone down with the lack of communication that leaves a sour taste. The way that they've been working on this for years, kind of open pre-orders, maybe they had to legally, I don't know, only to then tell us a few days later that the game was being delayed and now cancelled. So clearly all the way back then when they announced the pre-orders, considering they thought they could do it in March and now the game's been cancelled, when they announced the pre-orders back at the end of last year, the game must have been nowhere near, yet they were able to ask people for money, which is crazy. Again, it might be a legal thing. I'm not too sure how it works, but in summary, the game isn't coming out. They didn't want to tell us the way that they did. If you don't know, the news broke on Friday morning in the early hours in UK time. The reason being they had to be on the radio silence, so they couldn't announce this game's cancellation due to a lot of financial reasons I'm not too clued up on, but I think it's to do with shareholders, and that's the reason we found out about the game being cancelled, because Sega were getting towards the end of their financial year, so they had to release a statement regarding all their products and their licenses, and Sports Interactive's Football Manager series was one of those, and they announced the game was being cancelled, and then Sports Interactive were then able to do their little piece about what's going on. Now, the positive spin of it, if you want anything, is that they are saying in their piece that the game will hopefully still be coming out towards the end of this year, and from all the testing they've done and whatnot, it all seems like things are going in a positive direction and the right elements of what they want to build is there. They just need more time to tweak it and make it the perfect game. And look, if they wait until FM26 until the end of this year and it's a huge improvement, and they bring on all these features that they had to cut out originally when they announced FM25, like international management not being there and whatnot, it will be a massive relief, because to be honest, the game really needs to hit like it out of the park really with this FM26 release, because there's gonna be a lot of sour taste left in the mouth of people in the Football Manager community with how this game has been handled. And if FM26 somehow has more delays or comes out and just isn't that great of a game or has lots of issues, people are going to say, you know, you've had years to work on this and it still isn't up to scratch. You know, are they to be trusted? And I really hope that isn't the case. I'm hoping when the new game comes out, it'll be amazing. I think everyone really deep down wants that. We all want to play a great game. So fingers crossed it all goes to plan. Now, what does it mean for the future of Football Manager? Again, they really need to smash it out the park of FM26. For right now, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs, but I would assume Sega, the company that are behind Sports Interactive and fund it, they'll be asking questions about how this has all gone down, the organization of how it's all worked to get to this point, and to be what has been. And I don't want to be horrible. I appreciate there's plenty of people doing jobs at Sports Interactive that wouldn't have been able to control the day to day. They've probably had a massive workload as well, but it's been a bit of a disaster, let's be totally honest. And I really hope they can get it right in FM26. But yeah, a weird time to be an FM fan, that's for sure. And it begs the question now, what do we do whilst we wait? Obviously, it is currently February. If we assume FM26 will come out on, the normal November-ish release date, we might get beta halfway through October. This is all guesswork at this point, and maybe news towards the end of September, start of September potentially, which leaves the majority of the year still, a good, 2/3 of the year that we need to fill, many months really between now and that time. And to be perfectly honest with you, we were kind of playing the game of, let's just keep the content coming, try and give you guys some good content, try and keep you guys that are still watching the content, in a good loop with Football Manager, enjoying what we put out as well. And then we were going to really go hard when the game came out in March, and now it's not coming out. And when we were kind of just trying to make it till March, now we've got to make that last all the way until the end of the year. So in terms of what you can expect to see on the channel, we're going to keep pushing with the tactics, with the tutorials. We'll try and keep it fresh as well, player lists and whatnot that you might not have heard of. On top of that, I think, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts below, it would be good if we could make some videos on how to keep Football Manager 24 alive, if that's the way to think about it, in terms of databases that you can do, challenges that you can undertake, saves to undertake. When I say databases, I mean you can get retro databases for Football Manager. You can get downloads where you get fake nations that don't actually exist in real life in the game, and you can try and take them to glory. We can talk about all the hardest challenges in the game to try and get you your most value out of this game that currently exists, and try and keep providing worthwhile content for you guys to watch, because as much as I'm saying all this negative stuff, you guys have shown us plenty of support over the last few months, and it really doesn't go unnoticed. I mean, as much as all this is negative, there's the positive that there are still plenty of you that enjoy and watch the videos. You smash the like button, you get involved in the comments, and on top of that, I mean, you've nearly got us to 200,000 subscribers, which will be a huge milestone. Even if things have been tainted by the whole Football Manager 25 release debacle, there's still plenty of things to look forward to, but I want to know from you guys. Let me know in the comments, what else would you like to see on the channel? Let us know, and we'll try and make it happen. It's you guys that watch the content, so if you want to see experiments or different kind of videos, let us know. If there's any tutorials you want to know about, anything like that, we'll do our best to deliver the content. It won't be daily content that we normally do when a game releases, but I imagine you can expect at least 3 videos a week on average, and we'll do some shorts here and there as well. You have Josh's tactic videos and the stuff that I do. But yeah, it's a weird one. It's not a situation I've ever been in, and it's been many, many years in the Football Manager world since anything like this has ever happened, and you could argue this is probably a little bit unprecedented in terms of the Football Manager game. I know there was a big change years ago when it was Championship Manager and whatnot, but, in modern Football Manager, this is the biggest, I don't know if you call it controversy, but you get what I'm trying to say. The biggest thing we've had, the biggest drama we've had really surrounding the game, especially when you consider the fact that this game was pushed back until March and then cancelled because it wasn't ready. Yet in September or whatever it was of last year, they opened up pre-orders for a game that wasn't just not ready for a November release, but wasn't ready for a March release. So what state could it have been in when they asked people to buy their game? I don't know. Maybe legally they had to open pre-orders. I don't know about how it all works, but there's a lot of people that are a bit miffed by that, really, why you would ask people to buy a game that you knew wasn't ready. But alas, a debate for another time maybe. Football Manager 25, it's not coming out. The content will still be coming out here on the channel. We appreciate all your support. We want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. I appreciate other people have made videos on this stuff already, and you might have seen other reactions, but I wasn't able to record yesterday. I was at work. Wasn't expecting the news to drop at, 5 AM on a Friday, but it is what it is. But either way, yeah. Weird time to be an FM fan. Thanks for all your support, and let's see how it goes from here.